Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. Now, for the benefit of those of you who are not familiar with the channel or are watching the channel for the very first time, the reason why it is called Uncommon Sense is because here we discuss everyday issues where we try to find logical solutions. But not everyone uses logic. So for that reason, it is called Uncommon Sense. I want to let everybody know that I'm currently live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. And as always, I want to give a huge shout out to all those that subscribe to both of my platforms, being Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron and Golden Spear Folk. Right now, between the two platforms, I have 214 subs. And I just want to say thank you very much for all the love and support that you have given me and my platforms. Okay. I also want to give a huge shout out to all those who follow me on social media. And I also want to give a huge shout out to all those who allow me to enter in your devices, whether it be during this live or whether it be after on the playback. So, what I'm going to ask you to do is the following. If you have not done so, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe, like, and hit the bell notification to all. So, therefore, whenever I do produce content, you will have the opportunity to either catch it live or catch it on the playback. Now, tonight we're having another episode of open discussion. Let me just explain to you how that entails. As far as open discussion is concerned, we will talk about multiple topics. Also, should you wish to that we should discuss a topic, all you got to do is enter in the chat. Okay. It's been actually I'm going to keep it real. It's been very busy the last couple of weeks. Between working on now two platforms and everything else that I have to deal with. Okay. Now the link to join the panel is in the chat. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to also put the link so you can go to my other platform, which is Golden Spear Folk. And I will be talking about that in a few minutes. First of all, what we're going to do is we're going to start with a recapping of this week's streams. As you can see by the previous streams, it dealt with certain issues among the genders. The topic, the stream for Monday night was, is there a gender war between the sexes? And what I did was I shared information. And what you have is you have two conflicting points of view, okay? You have the women, or a portion of the women, who hold certain points of view, which I alluded to Monday night. And then you have men who gave their point of view regarding certain inequities, but particularly pertaining to family court and the unreasonable expectations that are placed on men. Men are supposed to be traditional and all that sort of thing, but some they don't want to be traditional women. So that's where there is a conflict. However, it can be resolved if both parties can discuss their differences in good faith and if both parties can understand each other. That's the key. Communication, communication, communication. And I see that 4 people viewing this stream, and I just want to say thank you very much. Now, yesterday's stream, I did a stream regarding is there a gap in pay among the sexes? And what we did, we discussed the fact that in some fields there is a huge discrepancy regarding the wages that men earn compared to what women earn. I also illustrated there are other things that are factored in as far as the educational level of individuals, also the ethnicity of individuals. All of these things play a role as far as the inequality in the pay gap. Okay. And now tonight we're having another episode of open discussion. Now, as far as next week's streams, I still have to iron out as far as the times and the dates regarding next week's stream. But the topics that I may be discussing, I will make a final decision this weekend, which is how to end toxic relationships. So what I'm going to be doing on that evening or afternoon, I will be discussing, first of all, we're going to give the definition. What is a toxic relationship? And is there any way that it can become non-toxic? And if it's not possible, how can to end a relationship with the least amount of emotional damage possible? Okay. The fact of the matter is, whenever you do end something, there's always some sort of trauma involved. And the key is to do everything possible that if we have to separate and go our separate ways, that we should try as much as we can to leave in amicable terms. The other topic will be the art of communication. I have discussed this. I think I discussed this in season 1, but it's always good to have a refresher regarding that as far as what is needed to have effective communication. And there's going to be several keys that will be very important to discuss to maintain it. Now, the next thing on the topic agenda is going to be a shout out. Okay. Huge shout out to Golden Goddess and her success with her platform. Okay. Not only has she gained 1,000 subs, but she also became monetized. And what does that mean? That means that she's able to earn money whenever she does produce material, and then there are commercials, advertisement posted on her streams and her videos. Golden Goddess will get us a portion of that revenue. Okay. And I see here we have Magic Malata. Good evening. Thank you very much for stopping by. This weekend, I'm gonna look over your stream regarding getting rid of the addiction to drama. It is an interesting topic, and that's something that we all can learn from as far as what to do to avoid addiction to drama. So now the reason why I'm giving the shout out is that, look, it takes a great deal of energy to produce a successful platform. Okay. And of course, everyone defines successful in many ways. Okay. Uh, as far as my platform is concerned, I know it's going to take a considerable amount of time before I'll be monetized, due to the fact that my channel it's a discussion channel. It's more of a chill channel. It's here we discuss um, mature topics in a mature level. And what happens is when you have a platform like that, it usually takes longer uh, to become monetized. But that's something I knew going, from the beginning. I knew it was going to take time for me to be monetized. When I don't know. Only God knows. But in the meanwhile, I'm going to do everything I can to produce quality content. Now, let me make this perfectly clear. I'm not trying to cast any shade on any YouTube creator. Everyone has the right to govern their platforms as they see fit. I I for my part, I prefer to go the polite, courteous, and educated route, which I know what which means it's going to take longer. However, it is my belief that when you do go that route, um, you're able to maintain the growth. And the fact of the matter is, so far on this platform, I have 208 subs, and on the other platform, I have 6 without even airing a live stream. So I think that's a testimony regarding the type of material that I try to bring forth. Okay. Now, going into the NFL, and as far as there have been some, there have been some surprises, there have been some disappointments. Okay. Um, One particular thing has to do with the Minnesota Vikings. This past weekend, they had a playoff game with the New York Giants, and unfortunately, the Vikings fell short. And the Giants defeated the Minnesota Vikings in what was considered by many as an upset. So that just gives you an illustration. No one should be taken for granted, and you should never assume, okay, because you know the old joke, when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. I'm sorry. I know I'm 60 years old, but okay. Also, some of the other teams um, that they get into the playoffs, they did not perform well. But that's what happens. Okay, that's why the postseason is a major stress time. It separates the winners from the pretenders. Speaking about the winners, one thing I will continue to do is I will continue to give shout outs to those YouTube creators who do support this channel. Now, I'm not going to cast any shade on any creator that does not support this channel. Okay, I knew from when I started back in August of 2021 that I was not going to be everyone's cup of tea. First of all, because for the most part, there's no register streams, there's no drama, there's no one yelling and screaming and cursing up and making up a fuss. So what happened? Okay, that was not the intent of my channel. The intent of my channel is to provide a safe space where everyone can express a point of view. And if we disagree, okay, let's discuss this and where we disagree, and if possible, learn from those disagreements and come up to some sort of a consensus, if that's possible. So that is the whole. That was the primary goal, and that's the reason why I decided to create a separate channel to deal with biracial and multiracial issues. Okay. Now, what I will be doing is I will be reaching out to some of the other YouTube crews who are biracial or multiracial. I am blessed to have friendships with several of them. So, what I will do from time to time is I will ask if they will consider um, to co host with me on future streams so we can have a clear understanding on what are the issues that they face. Okay. And just to let everybody know that my first stream of Golden Spirit Folk will take place tomorrow at 6 o'clock in the evening Eastern Standard Time. Okay. I don't know what type of audience um, I will get because the first stream is, it could be anything. It could be me just talking to two or three people. But if it's just me talking to two or three people, so be it. Okay. And also, some people have a uh, misguided version regarding biracial and multiracial people. So what I wanted to do is to bring some clarity and try to place these individuals in a truer light. Not to make them saints, not to make them like they're flawless. They're people like you and me, and they have their issues. And sometimes it could be hard for biracial and multiracial people to discuss their issues without fear, uh, ridicule, or attack. Okay. Now, the next thing I will be talking about is ignoring the haters. Now, I knew from the beginning, sooner or later, I will have haters. And I will have haters for the following reasons. Number one, I will have haters in lieu of the content which I produce. Okay. Now, for some people, it is as boring as watching paint dry. I get it. Okay. Also, there'll say some people who complain that it's not, there's no drama, there's no wretchedness, there's no this, there's no that. And you know what? There's a reason for that. Okay. First of all, um, my name is attached to this channel. So I have a certain image that I'm trying to uphold. Number one. Number two, I'm also an ambassador to this channel. So I want people when they see this channel, they will leave with the impression, okay, there's some interesting information that could be learned. It's okay. Now, one thing I'm gonna do my best is not to highlight the haters. Okay, look, people will hate. That's a reality, and that's a reality that I can't control. And at this point, I really don't want to try to control. Okay, and one thing I have been using a term. I'm not gonna lie. It's a term that's been coined by the one and only Denise Gonzalez, which is the following: "Let the circus be the circus." In other words, if you have people who want to go around and cause drama and cause friction and cause a scene and whatever, okay, the best thing to do is not to any light, any shine, and just if it, whenever possible, pretend that they're not there. Okay. One thing I will be doing from time to time, I will be providing what I call motivational moments. And what are they? In other words, these are moments where trying to inspire uh, others, uh, people who are going through trials and tribulations, um, as a form of encouragement, also as as a motivation for people to look past their limitations and to dream about what they are able to achieve if they're willing to face it head on. Excuse me. If they're willing to not give up and remain determined on their goals. So that's the whole purpose as far as motivational movements. Now, it could come either at a stream on either platform. It might be on a short video, a lunchtime chat, or what have you, or I might do a video on TikTok or Instagram. In either way, I will be providing motivational moments. It is my attempt to do what I can to lift the spirits of those who are going through trials and tribulations and whatnot. The next thing, and this is something I have said before in different ways, in different forms, I will hang with those who hang with me. Or another way of saying it, if you're cool with me, I'm cool with you. Now, there have been times um, where people have come to me and asked me, how could you be cool with this person? How could you be cool with this YouTube creator? Don't you see what this person's doing? Don't you see this person is a mess? This person is wretched. This person is uncool. This person is ghetto. Blah 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 blah. First of all, I am not naive. Okay, I do see people as they are, but I also see people um, that they are capable of doing great and wonderful things. I see people that can rise above the situations. I see people that, with their flaws, um, they are people of character. So that's the reason why I don't have a problem hanging out with people what some people might consider to be wretched, or what some people consider to be ghetto, or some people consider to be low class. Okay. Uh, Also, want to make this perfectly clear. I am not co-signing any bad behavior, but I'm not condemning it either. Okay. Now, if I do see a need to discuss it with someone, I'm going to try to discuss it in private, because you know why? That's what friends do. When a friend sees someone that appears to be doing some sort of behavior or habits that are not appropriate, a true friend will take that person to the side, talk to them in private, and say, um, with all due respect, I'm concerned about you because of this behavior does not reflect who you are. Okay. And all that person can do is either accept the words and try to change, and not accept the words. But once you have spoken to someone in private regarding legitimate concerns in a non-judgmental manner, you've done your part. There is no other thing to worry about. Now, one thing that I will be doing more often, I'm going to be sharing what I call traveling tips. And what they are? Okay, these are things that I have learned in my years that I've traveled. Of course, some of you know that I have been blessed that I have visited the following countries, which were Canada, Mexico, Colombia, Panama, the Dominican Republic, and Puerto Rico. And I also have traveled domestically extensively in the United States. So, in all that time of traveling, I have learned and I pick up certain habits, um, which I will be sharing with you. And these are the suggestions of my plan. I'm not saying that you have to do them. What I am saying is maybe you think about, okay, because one thing we do have to bear in mind, when we go away on vacation or when we go away for a business trip or when we go away for a convention to represent an organization, we have a certain fixed amount of time. So the whole point is to try to maximize your time and use your time in an efficient way. So from time to time, I will be sharing you traveling tips. I do hope that you will take advantage of them. And I think you're going to find that if you do so, you will be making the most effective use of your time because most of us are going to be away on vacation for a week, two, maybe three, but most likely 1 or 2 weeks. So you may want to think about what to do to make the most out of the time that you have on vacation. And one thing uh, that's very important, budget yourself properly. Okay. If you have to be worrying about saving money when you're on vacation, you have no right to. You have no business going. Okay. So you take a look. Okay, I'm going to spend this much for airfare or my mode of transportation. I'm going to spend this much for lodging. I'm going to spend this much for food. I'm going to send. Okay, I might do pick up some souvenirs, or I might go to some of the social events. And you try to organize yourself. Now I know some people they don't do that. They rather do it by by the seat of their pants, and sometimes it works out well for them. And I say bravo, but I am not that way. I am Mister. Well, I gotta plan everything to the last detail. Now, one thing that it may change is the scheduling. Okay, and the reason behind that is the following. I have been doing a great deal of overtime. So sometimes there may be times when I may have to change the schedule. I will try not to do that because I do understand that some of you do appreciate a certain level of consistency. Okay, um, that's something that I have always strived to do is to remain consistent in regards to my schedule. Okay. Most likely it's going to continue with 3 streams a week among common sense with Jose Negron. As far as my other platform, probably once or twice a week, once weekly or bi-weekly. I just have to wait and see and how the scheduling goes. Okay. And also bear in mind that I do send the notifications through Instagram um, to about 15 people, and also at times my streams gets posted um, in Discord. And I just want to appreciate all those who have seen fit to air my content in Discord, both to let people know regarding my upcoming streams, and for those who wish to catch it on the playback. Okay. Now, the next thing I'm going to be talking about, avoiding the drama. Okay. Unfortunately, when it comes to social media, whether it be YouTube, whether it be Facebook, whether it be Instagram, whether it be TikTok, or any other source of social media, or Twitch, from time to time, there are certain individuals that will try to create drama. Why? I don't know. I can speculate on the why, but I prefer not to because, again, I firmly believe in the phrase, let the circus be the circus. If people want to carry on and make a complete jackass of themselves, you know what? I say go ahead. Okay. Me, I am not going to do that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the best I can to produce quality content and to try to avoid unnecessary drama. Now, I say unnecessary drama because drama comes in many ways and in many forms, and there's some drama which cannot be avoided. However, I can do whatever I can to limit um, the amount of drama that I have to deal with. And also, as a consequences, of course, I'm going to continue avoiding certain individuals, which, in my estimation, does not merit my time or my energy or my efforts. I'm not going to name anyone, but there's certain creators that it's what is more known that I will not bother with. No disrespect to anyone. It's just that I prefer to avoid drama as much as I can. I prefer to focus on my platforms and try to be the best version of myself. Okay. And of course, it's been commented that I have been in multiple platforms where certain people have beefs. And I see here we have Mr. Anthony Ali. Good evening. Thank you. He has a YouTube channel. Okay. He's very young and he's very creative. And he just became monetarized as well. So a huge shout out to him for all his success. Okay. And if you have not done so, I'm going to ask that you please check out his content. Okay. I do know he does several streams on a weekly basis. Um, so sometimes you may, depending on your schedule, may not be able to catch all of them live, but do try to catch them, even if it's on the playback. I think you're going to find that it is worth the time and energy for you to watch his content. I mean, he is a very creative individual, And it's very important that we support young, positive YouTube creators. And I consider Mr. Anthony Ali to be a positive YouTube, um, YouTube creator. You're quite welcome. You're quite welcome. And again, bravo to you for being monetized. Okay. And it just shows the amount of success that you have achieved. So I just want to say bravo to you. Now, another thing I do wish to discuss. Um, Sometimes my streams get low views. Okay. Um, I am not worried about it. I do know that there are times where my streams will be highly viewed. Those streams would tend to be a little bit more on the spicy side. Those that tend to be controversial, certain hot button issues, they're going to get a lot of views. There are other streams that not going to get so many views, and it's just a reality. I understand that, and I am not worried by that. Okay. First of all, I have to take into account that people have busy schedules. Okay. I also have to take into account the fact that you may have multiple creators who have streams going at the same time. And sometimes we're all competing against the same audience. So what happens is when we do have multiple YouTube creators pursuing the same audience and they're airing more or less at the same time, what's going to happen is that the views in some of my streams may not be as high. Also, I know there's some content that I make. It may not be all glamorous. However, I am not worried because the key is to remain consistent, consistent, consistent. Okay, and that's a key why um, I've achieved the success that I have achieved. Now, going into the beginning of 2022, I had 39 subs. Today, as we speak, I have 208. So that just gives you an idea. I see again another one. Thank you very much, whoever subscribed. Okay. So I am not worried about the low views because not every is going to be successful. There's going to be streams that's going to be complete flops. Okay. Pick your favorite. Okay. Because if I do a stream and it did not gain the audience that I hope, okay, fine. It's an opportunity for me to look at the stream and see where I missed the mark, so to speak. And then I just work on the next stream to make sure it's better. It could be because the sound quality was not good. It could be it could be the video, it could be many things. But us YouTube creators have to be able to accept some criticism and be able to reflect where they aired and what they have done, what they will do to do better. Okay. Now we're gonna go continue with okay. Um, when I thought about the aim, I try to develop what I call is my own personal niche. Okay, because certain YouTube creators are known for certain things. Uh, Radical Latino is known for Black and Brown unity and fighting white supremacy. Denise Gonzalez is known originally as far as business and politics and trying to help us to think of things in a logical way. Um, Fighter Complex 7. His topics tend to be a little bit, I would say, uh, spicy, and there's nothing wrong with that. And of course, you have YouTube creators in the golden spear, uh, each trying to illustrate their area of expertise. So I decided that my area where I'm going to be focusing on is dealing with everyday issues because the reality is no one was discussing it. So you know what I did? I decided, okay, I'm gonna discuss everyday issues, which means it can be multiple topics. It could be regarding feminism. It could be regarding depression, mental health issues, um, a wide assortment of issues. Okay, and some of the topics that I have discussed that have been deemed somewhat controversial, but for the most part, I have been able to discuss these topics in a way that is non-judgmental and it highlights information and certain topics that we have never thought about. Okay. So, and of course, I will continue with Uncommon Sense to be discussing everyday issues. Okay. Uh, I'm going to strive to make it more um, relatable as much as I can. Of course, I am not perfect. Okay. I'm far from it. And I still have a great deal to learn. But that's perfectly fine. That's no problem. I will make my mistakes. I will get my lumps and I will dust myself off and I will try to be the best version of myself. Now, I have been speaking for about 45 minutes. So, to the audience that's out there, I'd just like to ask you a question. What is on your mind? Okay. Do you have topic me to discuss? If you wish to have me discuss those topics, you can put it in the chat. Okay. Also, the link is in the chat should you wish to join the panel. Okay. Now, of course, there are some people who feel more comfortable staying in the background. That's fine with me. Okay. And then there's those that just prefer to cloud watch or watch in the background and not enter a comment. That's perfectly fine. I would appreciate it that you hit the like button as you enter. Okay. It doesn't cost you anything to hit the like button, but it does help with my algorithm. Okay. And it gives me a pulse what I need to discuss and what I need to avoid. And contrary to what some people may believe, this is not pandering. I'm just simply trying to bring forth issues and topics that we all can relate to. Excuse me. So, if no one wishes to join the panel, and if no one else wishes to enter any further comments, okay. Of course, after the stream has been aired, you're all more than welcome to enter a comment in the chat. Okay. All I ask is please be respectful. Okay. I'm not saying that you have to agree with anything I say, but I really would appreciate it if you keep it respectful. Which brings me these are the rules of the platforms, and they're applicable to both. Number one, do not overtalk anyone on the panel. I repeat, do not overtalk anyone on the panel. There have been times when I have to ask people to please wrap it up or please let others to speak because they kept going on and on and on. And what that does is it discourages people from expressing their point of view. So, the number one rule is do not overtalk anyone. Number two, do not disrespect anyone that's on the panel or in the chat. Now, unfortunately, there have been times where certain individuals have beefs with other certain individuals. And as a result, these delightful people bring their beefs to my platform, and therefore I'm left with the situation where I have to referee. With all due respect, I am not a referee. I don't wish to be a referee. I'm just trying to make sure everyone is given an opportunity to speak in a respectful way. Also, bear in mind the following. If you use as your avatar any sexual genitalia, whether it be male or female, you're going to be blocked. It is that simple. And if you use offensive language where you denigrate a person's character, their beliefs, or their sexuality, or what have you, you will be removed from the platform and you will be banned from the platform. Okay. Now, there have been people that have been banned from the platform for multiple reasons. Okay. And again, and I think people need to bear this in mind that I'm running a show. Not a freak show, but a show. Okay. So therefore, I'm going to do everything that I can to maintain a safe space for everyone to express their point of view. Now, it appears that tonight is going to be a slow night, which is perfectly fine. Okay. And I generally do not believe in talking just for the sake of talking. Okay. Looks like this stream is going to last less than an hour. And hey ho, that's fine. That's okay. I do want to let people know that tomorrow night at 6 p.m. on my other platform called Golden Spear Folk. I will be discussing regarding the identity crisis that biracial and multiracial people have to deal with. And the reason why I'm discussing this is that when you are raised in an environment when your parents are different phenotypes, or your grandparents were different phenotypes, and you are what's called MGN, which is multi generationally mixed, uh, there are issues regarding identity, um, particularly when it comes to black, white, biracial, multiracial people, because you're too light to be black, to be white, and you're too light to be black, and you're too dark to be white. So at times, these dear people struggle with who they are, and they also struggle with identity issues and low self-esteem. So the purpose is to discuss that and to try to highlight those issues where these dear people have. Is not meant to be derogatory. It's just simply to acknowledge the fact that some biracial and multiracial people struggle with who they are. Okay, so be as that may, um, I do want to thank all those who watched the stream live. I also want to thank all those who will catch it on the playback. Okay, and I do appreciate all those who follow me on social media and those who have already subscribed to the channel. Okay, I am humbled by your love and your support for me and my platforms. So that being said, I'm going to call this a night because no one else is making any comments. So it could be that I have people who are cloud watching, which is fine. Okay. Or I'm going to say the following: let the circus be the circus. So that being said, um, the link to get to Golden Spear Golden Spear Folk is in the chat. So after the stream, it's going to take a while. I think by 12 after 12 hours, you can catch. I'm trying to think what's the word. The link as far as the live stream in replay form, where you can click on the link and join the channel of Golden Spear Folk. So that being said, again, I thank all of you for giving me your time and your attention. So I will be live tomorrow. Most likely, I'm gonna be live on Monday at 8 o'clock. Okay. Also, I will be announcing the streams for next week on tomorrow's stream. So, with that being said, I thank all of you for your time and your attention. And this has been a somewhat shortened version of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. And I wish all of you a very good night and a wonderful weekend. Take care and peace.
Strong.